talking about technology. You know, I could just say, refer to all the things that out there Representative from Jamaica just said, and if you realize the amount of ICT that's involved in all the major things that has to happen to move the country forward. So, as the topic I was handed, ICTs, which when I saw the topic, I said it's a fascinating topic. ICTs are non-negotiable requirement for business competitiveness. What's happening here in Jamaica? Well, as I said, I could just keep referring back to everything that Diane said a while ago. I think there are about at least 5 or 6 key projects that are happening that all require ICT. So my agenda with the 12 minutes is very quickly. Just to kind of talk about what's happening around ICT in Jamaica on an individual level, what's happening at small to medium-sized business level, what's happening around ICT with the people providing ICT, which are the ICT vendors, of which I am one, and what's happening, what's the government doing. So, definition of ICT, it varies. ICT is a fuzzy topic. So I found this, I was looking around for a piece of cartoon, and I see a grandma carrying her grandson into the library and saying, it's a library, honey, a kind of early version of the World Wide Web, because ICT just means so many different things to so many different people. And one of the things that happens to me as a salesperson going and selling ICT solutions a lot, the instant you walk into an executive or try to speak to a minister or a permanent secretary, somebody at any high level about ICT, their eyes glaze over and they're just referring, they instantly want to refer you to the IT manager. And it's unfortunate, it happens every day, but again, I'm going to refer to that about at least 20 times that I'm here. The amount of projects that are going on there, those projects cannot be on the agendas of the IT managers. It has to be at a much higher level. So, in general, what's IT versus ICT? Because I'm telling you, I've been in the IT business and notice I said IT, I've been in the IT business for 29 years. And it's only in the last 10 years I started hearing this term ICT pop up. And I've been in this business, and all of us as a group sit on and say, what's this ICT thing? And we kind of realized that in academia, this term was being used around, just group everything around technology and cell phones and everything, because, and call centers and everything that has anything to do with technology is lumped into ICT. Whereas IT is around the, technologies used to transport, process, and retrieve information in digital form. So it's just always very interesting when there's discussion at the official national level around revenues from IT or ICT, and keep on having to correctly use the term ICT, because what's being measured is a lot of the business process outsourcing and a lot of that type of business, and not focusing on what's happening with the IT business, where application development. Tomorrow, I think there's a presentation on what's happening with the animation, right? And so that's a component of it. So that's more direct IT related than the call centers are IT related. The call centers and the business process outsourcing use a lot of IT to do their jobs. Are they really and truly IT? I leave that to other people to discuss and argue. No, bring up this value chain. Anyone who does business school recognize this. Well, I had to go through this before. Right? Mr. Porter made this popular back in, I think it was early mid-80s, I think. And the important part is the supporting activities and the piece of the line that says technology right there, right? And realizing that this is a key component in supporting any business. The primary activities are all there. Lots of our presentations this morning spoke to how different people are using all of these, how they're handling these different components of the primary activities around bringing value and around making money in their business. But the technology is a key component of this entire value process. So, again, most people look at IT as, if you look at the far left slide, the far left stack, that talk about packaged software. So, most people, when they think of IT, that's what they think about: networking, storage, PCs, virtualization, kind of newish term in the last 5 or so years, data applications. All of this is what is generally lumped in as IT. how this IT is delivered to you, how this IT is going to be realized to be used, the delivery of this IT is changing. So 10 years ago, 5 years ago, you were buying, managing all of that IT in your own organization. What's happening now is that we're moving over to infrastructure as a service. In other words, you rent space on somebody else's server, you rent space on somebody else's data center, and you just put your applications there. Or you move up to platform as a service, where they give you almost everything, including maybe a database server, and you just load certain bits of software in there. And all the way to where software as a service, where a lot of us use software as a service and don't realize, by the way. So if you have a Yahoo account, a Gmail account, Google, you've been using software as a service. In other words, you just log in to a kiosk or a laptop or a tablet anywhere, and you just get all of this stuff that already does. You have calendar, you have email, that is software as a service. And a fair amount of companies, large, medium, small, are moving to that platform. So it's just an idea of IT, the guts and glory of IT. What are we talking about? So what's happening in Jamaica with individuals? How are talented persons who have a great idea doing business, how are they getting to show what they have? So on the slide right there are 3 events that have popped up. Digital Jam, Minister mentioned it earlier. Digital Jam happened, and this is the date, March 1st and 2nd, it happened here. It was a regional contest, if you will, started with about 200 programmers, people with ideas, coming together, and then shortlisted down to, I think it might have been 80 for the weekend, and then on the final, I think it's probably about 20, where they came together. And in some instances, people with ideas that in the first go around, it wasn't working, the panelists said, you know what, you guys have that idea, these guys have that idea, you guys come together, and you work something out and then come back. So sometimes people who didn't even know each other ended up having to work together to come with something creative. So Digital Jam, future of work is digital. And this was also a way, for this specific event, was a way of looking at unemployment, saying, here are these kids that have some talent in some area. They kind of sit at home doing nothing, They might have some skills in this area. Let's see what they can do. And so this came out of it. The winner for Digital Jam, a very interesting application. You can Google it, do some research on it, called PrimeBot. And PrimeBot is actually, if leveraged and implemented, could actually reduce crime significantly in Jamaica. Right? It is actually using mobile devices to capture, record crime. And just imagine the possibilities when you can anonymously report crime anywhere you are in the country. And that is fed into all the various stakeholders that need to get. More on that at a different time. Kingston Beta, created by an entrepreneur, to just do that. They meet every 2 months, and actually right here in this room. And again, it's a pitch fest. Everyone has various ideas, and it's around people saying, hey, here's what I'm thinking about. Very interesting app that I saw the last time I went to that event was an app called Project Agro. Project Agro, imagine now creating that linkage between all the farmers out there and then all the customers of those farms and those things that actually farmers need. So, bunch of things. From same person that created Kingston Beta created Startup Weekend. Startup Weekend very similar to Digital Jam, where the people came together, and between the Friday evening when they met, they came up with an application, designed the application, and presented the application on Sunday evening. Right? So that's what happened in Startup Weekend. So that's what's happening there with a lot of individuals, giving people the ability to form clusters around the various ideas that they have. So when I was asked the question, what are some of the uses of ICT in Jamaica? A lot of people just talk about IT, or buying the technology to speed up a process, or buying technology just to, okay, I used to use a typewriter, so let me get a computer to type the same letter. There are some businesses out there that are using ICT to almost change the way that they add value. This company, all of us who have a motor car, once you're going to get insurance, you have to get an evaluation of your car. And when you're the other day, I noticed these guys, everyone, they walk out, everyone had a tablet in their hand. Everyone has a little Apple, a little iPad mini, and what they have is they're using iPad mini to do their entire business process. So what these guys done, they have created an application. So the camera is used in here, the entire business process, walking around the car, the collision, the damage, everything that's happened right here. It is now tied in the entire ecosystem. The insurance companies go online and pull the reports. The other stakeholders that all need that information are all connected into this website that this company has. And so these guys have used ICT, used technology. So, I mean, their competitiveness. Put it this way, the rest of the industry are kind of lobbying to complain against them because they don't have this unfair advantage. The guys invested their time and their money, and the rest of the people are kind of upset. But anyway, it's an example to show, here's how a small company, 50 staff members, relatively small, I mean, small, medium size, depending on the market size, have used ICT to reduce something that took several hours down to 30 minutes. Huge competitive advantage. Winning business because it is easier to do business with them instead of everybody else. The insurance companies and all the persons who are involved can realize, well, I just go to the website to get all the reports for all the cars that you did for us for the day. And then after we're running down whoever to call, to fax, to send the package, the bureau, it's all online. So, fantastic idea. Heard mention of this company a few times today. Grace Kennedy, large conglomerate, financial services, money transfer, insurance, banking, food services, supermarkets, manufacturing company, and it's also, sells hardware and various type of devices like that. So, having used the technology to do all the various things around speeding up process, they're now using technology to do a whole host of other things now. And in the interest of time, not to go through all of them, but we heard about innovation. What they're using technology right now is to work on their 4 key strategic objectives for the organization globally. Drive performance, increase operational excellence, increase that touch and feel with their consumers, because conglomerate like Grace, they have customers and then they have the consumers of their products globally. And also talk about sustainable growth and innovation. So what they are doing is focusing on the value versus the cost of IT. Value versus cost. A lot of people, when they buy technology, they're looking at this whole technology and they're not understanding that there's a cost component and a value component. And so what Grace has done is outsource the cost component of the business, the switches, the routers, the hubs, the mundane stuff that's not adding no value to the business. Everyone has switches, everyone has routers, all that stuff. That's where my organization steps in. My organization is one in the middle, T-Tech. I manage all that cost part for them, and they have told us after 7 years of us doing it, that the cost to run their IT is now 20% less because they have outsourced it to an organization that we do it better than them. So how my company got started was we went to the Grace and took all the entire IT department, took it out to the company, and then because we took on other customers to do the same work, we can now do it at a lower cost. So that's kind of what we did, and we've been. So my job is now to approach more companies to try to sell this idea of just taking out the cost, lowering the cost. They keep the value part. The value part is the intelligence that they get from the applications and the data to make better business decisions. IT managers don't like to see us walk in the door, so they think we're taking their jobs. We're not taking their jobs. We're coming to make it more valuable, right? But that's, again, for another discussion. So, what's been happening in National ICT Advisor accounts? So that's what's happening on the private side. On the public sector side, again, I'll just refer to what's happening here with JAMPRO, the National MSTEM Ministry of Science, Energy, Technology, and Mining. They have realized the importance of IT, created a National ICT Advisory Council on which I sit, National Cyber Security Task Force, realized the importance of IT, but with the coming and with the use of importance of IT, we do have the threat of cyber terrorism and a lot of things that can come with that. So the government has set up a task force on which I sit on behalf of the PSOJ. But us as IT companies have come together and created an alliance. So all IT companies, let's jump to, this is the minister's ICT plan. don't need to get into this because this is this gets very, very scary, right? But the Minister of Technology does have an ICT plan, and he follows it diligently, and this is actually supposed to be updated, and we're supposed to get updated copy next month. So our group, the IT businesses in the country, we have put together our first opinion paper, and what we are doing as a collective group is looking to see how can how to make IT work better for Jamaica as a whole, and we're looking right now at our analysis of the IMF program going on in the country. And we have some recommendations, which I just jumped directly to recommendations. We've looked at the problems. In general, Madam Edwards, we've had a challenge with implementing IT programs because no ownership, lack of ownership, direction, and so forth and so on. So we have looked at all of that, and we believe that there are three things that need to be done. The legislative process needs to be enhanced. We need to have a holistic governance framework, and they need to have access to all the data that's available in government. Government has more data on each of us than we all know. They have more data on what's going on, but the data are in silos all over the place, all these various ministries. So one of the recommendations that we have is to focus on integrate this data and support business development, business intelligence is a basic for growth. So at a very high level, that's my brief introduction and thought around what's happening with ICT for today.